yesterday, you saw Tua finally appreciating his dream. I felt like the Emmys. I just got talked off my stage. All right, back here talking Browns, Steelers. They're like, we're moving on, whether you're done or not, Jenna. Another game we had pegged as a back-and-forth shootout, and another game that was not. In a nutshell, Steelers were good, Browns not so good. Pittsburgh's defense got to Baker early and often, and even more than that. Baker Mayfield, who came in with sore ribs, did not help his case, though. Sacked 4 times, intercepted twice, finally pulled in the third. For Case Keenum, by the way, we should mention. Steelers get the big win. How about the Pittsburgh Steelers? Now 5-0 for the first time since 1978. Brandon, this is your team. You picked it, so let me start with you. Was this more about what the Steelers did well or what the Browns did not?
This is all about the Steelers, and sometimes we take all this time preparing and previewing these games, and then we watch the games and we follow the trends and the storylines from those 4 quarters. But let's go back to Friday, and let's go back to the keys to this game. What did we talk about? Number 1, we talked about taking Myles Garrett out of the game. Well, there's some players like Myles Garrett, J.J. Watt, Aaron Donald, even Sue in his prime, where you see 1 sack on the stat line, you're like, we did a great job. He also had 1 quarterback pressure, but I will take that. Great job, Pittsburgh Steelers. The number 2 key was helping Big Ben connect finally on the deep ball. Any throw traveling past 20 yards. He went 3 for 3, and he also connected on a touchdown. What did he do coming into the game? He was 4 for 24. 4 for 17, excuse me. That's 24%. Wow, what a great job by Big Ben and those wide receivers getting it done, because we knew this secondary was average at best. And the third key was to eliminate the Browns running game. Coming into the game, they were number 1 in the league, 188 yards a game. And look at this, 75 yards. This is why they won the game, because they took away what the Browns did best. And they did it in a very, very glowing fashion.
Brandon.
So for that reason, you're seeing the Steelers continue on this unbelievable track to the Super Bowl.
Okay, Brandon, listen.
Right.
I love your keys to the game, and you did nail all of them, but you could have gone 0 for 3, and the game would have been no different. Because the biggest key yesterday was the Pittsburgh front 7 is the best unit of offense, defense, special teams. The Pittsburgh front 7 is better at their job than any unit in football is better at theirs or is good at theirs. I said that awkwardly, but you know what I mean. What they are doing defensively with those front 7 guys, plus Minkah Fitzpatrick and others on the back end, it's the best defense in the league by a country mile. So to answer Jenna's question, this was all about Pittsburgh. This was absolutely Bud Dupree, T.J. Watt, the whole crew. They are unblockable right now. And it wouldn't have mattered if it was Baker Mayfield, Case Keenum, or Tom Landry taking snaps for the Browns yesterday. They were going to get their teeth kicked in, because the Browns, who up until yesterday had a very successful and productive offensive line, had no answers at all. So I was skeptical, Brandon, of the Steelers as a Super Bowl pick before the year. I poked at you about it. I will sit here this morning and say, for my beloved Kansas City Chiefs, there is one team in the AFC that gives me pause. Wow. And it's Pittsburgh.
It's happening.
There's one team that I'm not saying they're better than the Chiefs.
So
I'm not saying I pick them to beat the Chiefs.
So all I got to do is ask.
But there is one team that concerns me. Well,
so that's all I got to do is ask for the respect, and you'll give it to me that easy?
It's less about you asking for it and more about what I'm seeing from the Steelers. The Steelers just crushing people. They had done it Wilds, as you mentioned, against bad teams. Now they did it against a 4-1 Browns team, and I don't know, Kevin, who can block these guys.
Well, that's what I was going to ask you, Brandon. If Kevin Stefanski had a time machine and he had the tape of yesterday's game and he went back to the previous week, he's like, guys, great news. It's like Biff Tannen's Almanac. I know what's going to happen. We have to come up with a new game plan. Don't you think
There's
the
nothing they
game
could
plan
do.
would have been to get Odell, and you don't think it would have made it there? Get Odell and Jarvis involved in the game? Whether you're like your little bubble screens and your smoke screens, because Odell
You
had
don't
2
need
catches
a
for
time
25
machine.
yards
We say that
and
every
4
single
targets.
week.
I don't. That's like, and Jarvis had 3 catches.
What did Odell
he had 5
have?
targets.
Two catches, two.
2 catches.
And Odell
Yeah, so
had
like,
two catches, 25 yards or something. I mean, yes, that's
Yes.
why I say. I mean, coming into this game, I'm not surprised that Odell. That's how his stat sheet look, right? Because the Pittsburgh Steelers do a great job of eliminating big plays. However, we keep saying it. Give him a screen. Give him a bubble.
That's what I'm
Throw
saying.
a quick little smoke out there. 100%, because you got to get this guy involved in the game.
Right.
Whether it is extended run plays, but you have to get him involved.
All right, so with the Browns trailing, guys, 31-7 in the third quarter, sort of inevitable. Head coach Kevin Stefanski pulls Baker, brings in Case Keenum. Baker only managed 119 yards passing. He got beat up from the get-go. So, you got to ask, Brandon, how strong is Baker's hold on the starting job here?
I don't think it's strong at all. We got to go back to the Minnesota days, right? Like, these two have history together.
Oh, you're out of your mind.
Case
Keenum
100%. Case
You're out of
was
your mind.
on his way to taking the Minnesota Vikings to a Super Bowl. One play away, basically. So when you look at this, I would say that this is a thing. This is something that we need to pay attention to in the next few weeks to come. Why? When you look at what they're asking Baker to do, how to operate this offense, don't mess up the game. Basically, we are the best in the league at running the ball. 188 yards a game coming into it. This past week, they dropped them down to 169 yards. So we're not throwing the ball around the field. So when it comes to what they're asking them to do, this is equal. But in the passing game, you have to say that Case Keenum has the edge. So if it's going to come down to actually throwing the ball, and you're sitting here at 4-2, why wouldn't you throw Case Keenum in there?
Brandon, because you get all the downside of Baker with none of the upside. I don't know if Baker's going to be a franchise quarterback or not, but I know definitively Case Keenum isn't. Case Keenum, aside from a magical 10-game stretch in Minnesota, has been exactly this since he was at the University of Houston.
So you trust Baker more than Case? So you trust Baker more than Case?
I don't really trust either one of them, but Baker at least has some upside. Case Keenum has no
what I can show you is
upside at
that
all.
first interception. What we can show you is that first interception. This is just classic double slant one. Versus zone, he's supposed to throw the ball where he threw it. But versus man, he's supposed to throw the flat or the outside.
That's fine.
But these are fundamentals, Nick. These are fundamentals. I understand what you're saying, but I'm talking about the fundamentals of playing quarterback. That doesn't happen. You don't throw this pick if you understand the quarterback position. That is man coverage. So you're supposed to throw it to the flat or Odell Beckham Jr. That is not zone. Zone is inside, outside. He threw it to the inside slant. This is fundamentals. You learn this in high school.
Nobody disagrees
I know this
with
is a
that.
wide receiver.
Nobody disagrees. Brandon, nobody disagrees
You have no
with
chance
that.
going against good defenses.
Brandon,
you have no chance going against the good Ds.
Brandon, what would the score have been yesterday if Case Keenum played the whole game? Would have been 1 point different.
We're talking about you need a quarterback that can operate both sides, run game and pass game. And this right here is the fundamentals. You know coming in that the Pittsburgh Steelers is #1 in blitzing the quarterback.
Yes.
You know this. You know that they're a zone blitz defense.
Got it.
You know that.
Brandon,
You know that on third down that you got to go inside. It's not too different. We're talking about the fundamentals. We're talking about the fundamentals of playing quarterback. That's what we're talking about. This doesn't happen if it's Case Keenum. You don't win games if you turn the ball over, Nick.
Brandon, I've watched Case Keenum when he was in college. Hold on, wait a second.
Case Keenum won't make this mistake. Case Keenum won't make this mistake.
Well, then he's changed. Then they got a new Case Keenum. Because Case Keenum, his entire career,
you're talking about his
has made
career
these
year
types
with
of
Coach
mistakes.
Stefanski. You're talking about his best year with Coach Stefanski.
And the Vikings. The Vikings who saw that, Brandon.
He threw 20-something touchdowns and 7 picks
and the Vikings,
in Minnesota.
The Vikings who were
so
there.
You're talking about.
Hold on, wait. The Vikings who were there They liked that career year. They liked it so much, they said Kirk Cousins will give you the best contract anyone's ever gotten, because we know Case Keenum can't do that again. And the rest of the league has looked around and said, oh, we know what Case Keenum is. This is not a defense of Baker, but he has some upside. Keenum is an undersized, underarm talented backup quarterback. That's what he is.
All right, I'm just going to go back to what I said Friday. If you eliminate the run game, that was my third key. I said if you eliminate the run game, what's going to happen is Baker's going to have to drop back and throw the ball. And what you're going to get is 1 pick, 2 pick, 3 pick, 4.
Yeah.
That's exactly what I said. They eliminated the run game. Baker has to drop back. He has a fundamental double slant flat route. Versus zone, he's supposed to throw it where he threw it. It's man-to-man. What does he do on the most fundamental drop-back pass? He throws a pick. It's man-to-man.